With our new mini set being just around the corner, it's the perfect time now to make the last update, the final update to our tier list. And please keep in mind that this is data that was taken from the biggest tournaments that are played in the world, and this data was analyzed by professionals, and I'm simply showing you the results here. So yeah, do with that whatever you want. Now let's keep moving on. You can already see all the viable decks on your screen, so we're gonna start off from right to left. So Gyarados is the first one we're gonna rank, and Gyarados is actually a B tier. Now Gyarados sees a lot of play and is a very strong deck, but the last time that Gyarados actually took first place and won a tournament is, yeah, it's quite some time ago, so it doesn't deserve the S tier, no question about it. And it fell out of A because it doesn't it doesn't win a tournament anymore, and that's why it deserves to be tier. Next up, we have a deck that popped up. It's Pachirisu, and this one is trying to cheese and abuse the fact that the mechanic of a mulligan does not exist in Pokemon TCG Pocket. So it sees some play here and there, and yeah, it does see some success. It never wins, and it's nothing too impressive, but it's there. And yeah, I have to rank it here, because if you look at the top 20, top 16, Pachirisu shows up there very often. But it's a cheese deck and very inconsistent. It never wins. So out of all those meta decks, Pachirisu is by far the worst. So there's no other way than to put it into the F tier. Next up, we have Executor, which lately sees a whole lot of success. It's always in the top 3, and it keeps even winning consistently now. So yeah, this is the new king of the block, so to speak, and it's definitely S tier. Like this, as soon as this deck saw a lot of play again, it consistently wins tournaments ever since he became a thing again. So very strong, maybe even the #1 best deck in the game. I think it's still Darkrai. Spoiler alert, I will rank Darkrai right now and put it in an S as well. Those two decks are the best in the game. They're the most consistent ones. They win tournaments the most. No other deck wins as many tournaments or won as many tournaments as these two. So yeah, there you go. They are actually the best decks in the game, and they deserve the S tier. And yeah, now that we are talking about Executor and we're gonna move on to Charizard next, I wanna mention one really important thing, and that is weakness. Don't believe that Executor is so successful and so strong because Darkrai is so successful and so strong, and Darkrai has a weakness to grass. Executor is the best grass Pokemon in the game, right? Together with Celebi, and the grass type weakness from Darkrai is not, it doesn't matter at all. This is not the reason why Executor is so good. Executor is so good because it's good, not because Darkrai has a weakness. Darkrai is barely even ever in the active. And Executor doesn't one-shot Darkrai or anything like that. The weakness is completely 100% irrelevant. Executor will barely ever even get to a deck that Darkrai. Darkrai sits on the bench and uses his ability. They don't fight against each other, you know. This is complete nonsense. So please keep that in mind and forget about the weakness. And this is the same case for Charizard. Charizard recently won the biggest tournament that we have outside of Japan. So, and in general, there's always a Charizard like everywhere, you know. This is a very successful deck, and it recently even won a big one. So yeah, this is the A tier. But same story here again. Don't think just because Executor is now so successful that makes Charizard any better. That is so far from the truth and complete nonsense. Charizard one-shots anything in the game anyways. There is no weakness in play whatsoever here. And even the Moltres doesn't one-shot anything in the Executor deck, you know? Like, let's say now Moltres can attack sometimes because Dawn is a thing. So, yeah, that makes Moltres even better, and Moltres can now actually attack if this deck plays a copy of Dawn, right? But even that, it doesn't matter at all. Moltres does not one-shot anything in the Executor deck, not even with the weakness. It would be a two-shot anyways on everything. The weakness doesn't matter. So please, I want to put a lot of emphasis on that, because I hear this shit a lot. Oh, Charizard is now more successful because Executor is so good and Executor has a weakness to fight. The weakness does not matter. Nothing in the Charizard, except for Charizard, ever attacks, you know? You don't attack with Charmander, you don't attack with Charmeleon, and even if the weakness does not net you a one-shot or anything, you know? The weakness doesn't matter. Same for Darkrai, and yeah. Just let's leave it at that. The weakness does not matter here. That is very, very important to know. But yeah, Charizard, very successful, and recently won a big tournament, so it deserves the A tier. Now let's rank Palkia. Palkia is a weird one. That deck actually doesn't see as much success as everyone expected when it first came out, because Manaphy, Misty, and it is a wall. It does 30 damage for 1 energy. It's like very, very strong on paper, but yeah, either I don't know why. Either people play it wrong, or I don't know what's happened to Palkia, but it is nowhere near the success that we expected this card would ever see. So yeah, I mean, it's right there with Gyarados actually. Both see a lot of play, both are super strong, but both lack a little bit of success, especially lately. And yeah, this is the tier list. Of course, remember, like when I rank these decks, they are all very, very super strong, right? Those are the best decks in the game. And they're now rated by success, you know? Executor and Darkrai have the most success. After that comes Charizard. And then there's Gyarados. Like, it's really easy to rank. You just have to analyze some tournament data. And there you go. That's like the definitive last update. Yeah, this deck list is now set in stone, and now we're gonna wait for the next mini expansion to happen, and we can only hope that the game will get a little bit better than it currently is, and the meta will shake up in a drastic way. But I mean, yeah, we gotta wait and see. Maybe we don't get a draw engine, maybe we don't get a search engine one more time. Maybe we get 155 cards and only 4 of those have an actual big impact on the meta. I mean, we will see. At this point, nothing is impossible. Just, yeah, keep the coin flips out of the way. Don't buff Celebi, don't buff Misty, don't give us additional coin flips. Give us something that lets us draw cards and give us a viable search engine, as every single deck in this game highly depends on this one card, you know? Just look at these decks. The Executor deck becomes unplayable if you don't draw Executor early. Darkrai becomes unplayable if you don't draw Darkrai early. Charizard, unplayable if you never get the Charizard out. Gyarados, yeah, you end up with a Magikarp on the field if you don't draw into the Gyarados. Palkia, there's nothing that Misty or Manaphy can do. Even the Vaporeon now, like if you don't draw Palkia, your deck is unplayable. This counts for every single deck in this game that ever existed. And we need cards that let us search out specific cards that we need. We need to be able to find this one card that we only have 2 copies of, and that enables us to actually play this game, you know? We cannot stay for much longer in this. Like, every time you start a match, there's a very high likelihood and a very high risk that the game becomes just completely unplayable, and all you can do is you have to concede, because the game is unfucking fucking playable without our key cards. And every deck in the game that ever existed depends on this one singular key card. There's nothing else, you know. So yeah, we need draw engines, we need search engines. If you are like, oh, that's not true, blah 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 blah, I did the perfect showcase in just my last coaching session. So yeah, go watch my last video if you don't believe me. But anyways, that's not the point of this video actually. So yeah, here you go. This is the tier list. That's about it. If you like Pokemon TCG Pocket content in general, please consider leaving a follow on my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until next time, take care of yourselves, have a great day, and bye bye.